Let's go.
I'm just going to set the scene for what you're about to see. While we were in the European Union, thousands of UK laws and regulations were established in response to EU directives. Many of these laws protect safety, rights and conditions at work. They safeguard food standards, nature, the environment and wildlife. On leaving the EU, nearly 4,000 of these British laws stayed in place, and they are known as the retained EU law. Right now, our government is pushing through Parliament a bill called the retained EU law. If it becomes law, it risks abolishing all of these 4,000 existing laws in one fell swoop at the end of the year. It will give government ministers alone, the right to decide to retain any of these laws or not. No MPs will have the right to debate or vote on this. There will be no public consultation, no scrutiny of decisions by expert organisations that are skilled in knowledge of protecting nature and human lives. Hundreds of civil servants linked to the ministries in 16 departments affected will have only 8 months to review hundreds of complex laws, to decide what to keep, which to amend and which to abolish. Defra alone will have to reconsider 1,781 laws by December. This evidently impossible task will leave a wild vacuum of deregulation, endangering rights and regulations that we depend on, weakening key protections that are now enshrined in law, and leaving doors open to those who prioritise profit over protection, those who push for development and decisions that are dangerous to the ecology and the well-being of all forms of life in the UK. Business organisations, national nature, wildlife and conservation organisations and Extinction Rebellion see the huge danger of this bill and are campaigning vigorously against it. Though it's paused in the House of Lords right now, it still risks getting voted through. So in context of that, let's now see what this government wants to do with the bill, see what they're wanting to abolish and get rid of.
For over 200 years, British MPs have been under the illusion that a prime part of their role is to hold ministers of the Crown to account, and that they in turn are accountable to the electorate. We in this government think that these European ideas of democracy are too much of a good thing. It is time for government ministers to take back control from Parliament. We must cut through red tape which places burdens on British business and free our economy to grow and expand in this great nation of ours. The following are just a few of the most obvious examples to give a sense of the detail and the vast spread of laws and regulations which we propose to abolish in the greatest legislative bonfire in British history. Nearly 4,000 laws abolished in a single night. This is how we get things done. 1. Natural habitats. We will abolish laws which conserve natural habitats, wild fauna and flora, or which designate an area as environmentally sensitive to protect or enhance natural features such as the Somerset Levels, Exmoor, Dartmoor and similar habitats. Should we burn these laws, Teresa?
Yes, yes, yes! Keep the laws! Protect life! Keep the laws! Protect life! Keep the laws! Protect life! Keep the laws!
have more. 2. Water and flood control. We will abolish laws which ensure protection across all water bodies, protect clean drinking water, enforce management of sewage and farm silage, or impose duties on the Environment Agency and local authorities to prepare flood risk management plans. Shall we burn these laws, Teresa?
Law, protect life, keep the law, protect life, keep the law, protect life.
Don't worry, we have more. 3. Health, safety and food standards. We will abolish laws which provide controls for salmonella, including testing of poultry flocks. Laws which set out maximum limits for pesticides, residues and pharmacologically active substances in foodstuffs. Laws which prevent detergents from harming the environment and human health. Shall we burn these laws, Teresa?
Keep the law, protect life, keep the law, protect life, keep the law, protect life.
Don't worry, we have more. Another one. Number 4, effective waste management. We will abolish laws which provide for maximum amounts of waste allowed in landfill for the UK, and specifically batteries, electronic equipment, mining and extractive waste, vehicles at the end of their life, or radioactive substances. Laws which list the types of waste which local authorities may make a charge for collection and disposal. Laws which add to regulators' enforcement powers to take action at illegal waste sites. Laws which establish rules on shipping waste abroad. Shall we burn these laws, Teresa?
Keep the law, protect life, keep the law, protect life, keep the law, protect life.
Don't worry, Teresa, we have more. 5, fish stocks. We will abolish laws which improve hygiene, health, safety and working conditions for fishermen, increase the energy efficiency of fishing vehicles, and protect and restore marine biodiversity by the conservation of stocks of specific fish in particular seas and at differing water depths. Laws which determine the mesh size of fishing nets. Laws which restrict the use of bottom-towed fishing gear, or which give fisheries officers direct powers to enforce conservation measures against illegal and unregulated fishing. Shall we burn these laws, Teresa?
Keep the law, protect life, keep the law, protect life, keep the law, protect life.
Don't worry, we're only halfway through. Number 6, animal welfare, imports and diseases. We will abolish laws which set requirements for animal welfare protection during transport and at the time of killing, including standards for fur-bearing animals trapped for their pelts. Laws which enable the identification and traceability of farm animals. Laws which control the import, quarantine and trade of specific wild animals, including endangered and migratory species. Laws which make certain animal diseases legally notifiable and give powers to slaughter for disease control purposes. Laws which set out requirements for vaccination and disease control for multiple specific animal diseases and pests. Should we burn these laws, Teresa?
Absolutely. Keep the law, protect life, keep the law, protect life, keep the law, protect life.
Terrible, these. Number 7, pollution. We will abolish laws which provide for the registration and safe handling of chemical substances with the Health and Safety Executive and evaluation of risks to human health or the environment. Laws which set basic safety standards for radioactive substances. Laws which protect the ozone layer, or which provide powers and training for authorised persons to enforce these regulations. We will abolish laws which ensure cleaner air relating to arsenic, cadmium, mercury, nickel and other air pollutants. We will abolish laws which implement the Environmental Noise Directive and establish common noise assessment methods. Shall we burn these laws, Teresa?
Protect life! Keep law! Protect life! Keep law! Protect life!
Don't worry, Teresa, I have number 8, forest and timber. We will abolish laws which apply the International Tropical Timber Agreement, counter the trade in illegally harvested timber, and uphold voluntary forestry agreements with specific countries. Should we burn these laws, Teresa?
Keep the law! Protect lives! Keep the law! Protect lives! Keep the law! Protect lives!
Don't worry, we're not out of laws yet. Number 9, organics, GMOs and food labelling. We will abolish laws which set out the requirements for organic production and labelling of organic products, which regulate the traceability of products containing genetically modified organisms. Laws which set out the rules for providing food information to customers, including nutrition information, ingredients, allergen information, and the absence or reduced presence of gluten. Laws which implement public access to environmental information, public participation in decision-making, and access to justice in environmental matters. Should we burn these laws, Teresa?
Keep the law! Protect life! Keep the law! Protect life! Keep the law! Protect life!
Never worry, Teresa, I have a last set of laws up our sleeve. Number 10, import regulations and invasive species. We will abolish laws which prevent and manage the introduction and spread of invasive non-native species. Laws which provide protective measures against plant pests. Laws which establish training requirements for staff for performing physical checks at border control posts and frequency rates for those physical checks. Laws which set the requirements for imports of various food products, and laws which regulate trade in wild, fauna and flora. Shall we burn these laws, Teresa?
Keep the law! Protect life! Keep the law!